Thanks for staying with us on Let's Talk Sports. The Oxford Dictionary states the meaning of the word transform is to change completely or strikingly. And a group of young men who have all been punished for breaking the law intend to follow the definition of the word, to change completely and strikingly. Here, it could be hard to see the good in a man. There are many other things to see first, like wired fences and heavy guard. But inside these walls, a special group of young men are determined to change their images by playing a game which calls for free open skill and quick thinking discipline. Meet the Transformers, not those from the blockbuster movie with Optimus Prime and company, but Transformers from the Northward prison. Playing the lead role is long-serving inmate George Roper. Unlike the robot kind, Roper isn't trying to save the world from Decepticons. He hopes his skills on and off the field can save the youth, and he's doing so from behind bars at Northward.
It's important that, from us, that they make positive choices in their life, do the right things, and, we only have one shot at life, man. Let us do it the right way.
Roper acts as player coach on the Transformer team. In his 16th year of a life sentence, Roper says the Transformers are not all about winning. They have a special message.
Anyone can change. And this is what Transformer is trying to do. We're trying to transform ourselves and try to bring other inmates along too as well.
The team's journey begins on their football field at Northward. Under the sweltering morning sun, they run through their paces using football to let off steam. Then once a week, they make the short journey to the King's Sports Center, ready to show off their skills. For 1 hour, they put on a show at the King's Sports Center, fitting into the free-flowing, fast indoor game. While they look forward to showing off their skills to supporters, it has some drawbacks.
A lot of times, the family do leaves in tears, whether it's a brother or a sister or a mother or aunt or a girlfriend, they do leave in tears. Yeah. And it does, I can see the expressions on the guys' faces sometimes. It does let them feel, somewhat apprehensive somehow and down, so, it's difficult.
Back at Northward, trophies, newspaper clippings, and certificates decorate the office of Richard Barton, president of the football team. Since its inception, the football team has celebrated success in several competitions. But before they can kick a ball, it takes passing a strict criteria to make the team.
The discipline change, the whole lifestyle within the prison change, and because of that, it helps them that when they leave here, they're hoping that, they make a complete change.
And in this real-world transformation, it took a child's vision to attach the name to the football team.
We think it's fitting with the prison because it's a way to show the public that, not because these guys are in prison, that they're locked away, that, they can be transformed.
Another producer working in the Transformer cast is psychologist Stefan McAlpine. McAlpine and the inmates have a shared love in football. That's why he suits up with the team weekly, tackling not only their issues, but their competitors. He believes football teaches them valuable lessons.
Building respect for each other, becoming part of a team and recognising that the whole is greater than just any one person's performance. Because again, I think when we first started out, guys get very emotional about it, and it's all about what they did right and what other people did wrong. And we're trying to get them to recognise that you succeed as a team and you fail as a team, and it's not one individual. So there's a number of things that we see changing over time. One of the interesting dynamics is when I make mistakes, how they deal with me. And as I'm not perfect, and so I do. Sometimes I make mistakes, and people, it's interesting how they tell me off, because I deserve it sometimes, and they should tell me off. So I think that's probably interesting for them as well.
Prison officer Roger Johnson also lines up with the inmates.
You get more respect from them by playing with them. They also learn to work as a team. We work as a team. Even in the prison here, even when you're as an officer, you and the inmates work as a team. So it is very interesting working with these guys, playing with these guys.
After the final whistle, it's back to business.
You have to know where to draw the line.
On this night, despite a late comeback, the Transformers lose a close game to the Dart team, 3-2. But the bitter taste of defeat is not the biggest pill to swallow.
It is so daunting to know that we have to really go back and see these prison fences being locked up in a cell again for another 23 hours a day. You know, the situation is not really that ideal. And so for us, what we're trying to accomplish here is just so important, you know, to send that message out to so many other young people out there that, you know, it's important that they make positive choices, and that's what we are trying to do as Transformers on this team.
So while other players get in their cars and go to their homes, this group of young men pile into government transport to make a short trek back to northward, where they hope their transformation will continue. In all my time in journalism, Ness, I've never met a more passionate group of young men who have done something wrong but intend and are focused on doing the right thing. And they have a message and they want their message to be heard. George Roper, intellectually, to sit and have a conversation with that young man, he's a very bright young man. He knew the mistakes he's made and he wants to turn around. He's on top of the news going on every single day with the crime on the rise, and they want to be used as examples to the community. They're using football not only to relieve the stress of being locked up for 23 hours a day, but to spread that message, to tell the youngsters, this is not the way to go. And I think that's a key area where sport can be used to do something like that.
This is a lot of times where we focus on sort of the elite athletes when we're talking about sports news, but we forget the important role that sports plays in a society. And in this particular case, Jason, this is where you need the community, you need society to get behind them and get behind this program, because you know what, they're going to be back in with us. You know what, they're going to need jobs, they're going to need people's respect. It's going to be an uphill battle for them, but we need to recognize the changes that they're making and support them in that endeavor.
And that's the exact point. Mr. Barton, the president of the team, who's overseen the entire program for so many years, for the 3 years they've been around, and they've also been sponsored by the Dundee Merchant Bank, who saw the ability these young men have and the passion they have and decided, we'll come on and sponsor this team. And for someone in society, a private entity, to come out and do that is awesome. But he was saying that to get these guys back into society is just as important as getting them away from the prison. It's rehabilitation. Right. You don't want them to come back into society not having discipline, not being able to work together, work with the team, and that's what this football program is intending to do. He said some players play the program, leave the prison, but still want to stick with the team because it helps them to stay in line. And I think that's a fantastic story there, definitely.
That's it. And what is, you know, sports teaches discipline, it teaches teamwork. You know, I mean, this is why sport's so great and why you're always going to hear us
always talk about
the important role. I mean, for young people, it helps them with school, it helps, you know, it helps them in all walks of life. So this is a great example of sport on a grassroots level that's making a big difference.
All right, that's it for that piece, and we'll be heading over to the break, and we'll be back after this.